Hello and welcome to a new club guide. We are looking at the mighty Toffees today. I'll do my best to behave. I am a Liverpool fan, but don't hold that against me. Just I'll be nice about Everton, I promise. So in this series, we're going to look through the club from sort of top to bottom. We're going to look through finances, transfer budget, wage budget. We're then going to look through what the board require you to keep your job, so what they expect from all the different competition during this season, and then we'll look at the under-18s and 21s just to see if there's any sort of youth starlets that might be about, and then obviously we'll go through the main squad, see if there's any players that might need replacing, any areas of the team that might need improving. So let's get straight into it. So we've got a message from Bill Kenwright, and this is his philosophies. He wants you to sign young players for the first team and develop players using the club's youth system. They're both fine. I think most people that play Football Manager really enjoy that side of the game, bringing in young players and improving them, so it kind of suits you down perfectly. We'll have a quick look at injuries. So Stephen Peanut is out for 2 months. Leighton Baines is out for 6 months. Darren Gibson is out for 4 months. Aidan McGeeney is out for 2 months. Tom Cleverley is out for 4 months. Deflu's out for 7 weeks. And Besic is out for 2 months. So yeah, quite a bit of an injury crisis to start off the season. Let's hope they take that into account when they tell us what they require of us this season. So we go into competitions. So in the Premiership, they require that the team finish in the top half. I think that's definitely something that's doable. FA Cup, 6th round. And they don't care about the Capital One Cup, which is nice. That's always good because you just play the youngsters. In the bank, we've got almost £12 million, and we've got a transfer budget of just over 2. We're currently spending 1.3 million on wages, and our wage budget is 1.3 million. So I think pretty much you're going to have to be selling to buy players. You might be able to get in one sort of cheaper player or a youngster. But let's look at the under-18s. So I'm not going to go for every player. I'll let you find all the little hidden gems. I'm just going to go through the top talent of the squad. So according to our scouts, we've got Anthony Evans, who's an attacking midfielder. Plays centre but can play wings. 16 years old, right-footed. Really good physicals. Natural fitness is good. Really good for this age, 16 years old, because they improve, quite a bit as they get older. So that's really good start. Work rate and determination are both okay. They're two important stats to see how good. I always have trouble explaining this, but it's simple. Determination and work rate are basically two stats that help a player reach their potential ability. So if they're lazy, basically, they might not ever hit that 4-star that the scout thinks at the moment. So they're both okay. Apparently, he best as a shadow striker or attacking midfielder. His stats are okay. They would need a lot of work. I don't think he's ever going to be world class. I don't think he might get into your first team, but at a stretch, you need to put a lot of work into him. Get him a good shooter in game time and all that sort of stuff. That's about it for the under-18s as far as the stars go. Under-21s are not really much better. I think that's because most of your good youngsters are already in your first team, to be honest. We'll have a quick look at Luke Garbutt. He's a kid with a lot of potential. 22 years old now, so he really needs to sort of start making his way into the first team. Where's he on loan at the moment? Fulham. He's on loan at Fulham. He's left back and left midfielder. Can play both equally well because his tackling and marking are decent, but also his crossing is great. He's got great corners. He's even good at free kicks. Dribbling's decent. He's a good all-round player, and I definitely think he's somebody you could bring into the squad, especially being versatile, playing him in a couple of positions. Especially playing left wing back, he'd probably make the perfect left wing back. But definitely somebody that you might be able to look at when he comes back from his loan. And we'll have a quick look at Ryan Ledson. Not really. 17 years old. His physicals are bad. They will improve, but I don't think he'll ever sort of really make it. His mentals are all good. There's no real weak points there. His work rate, determination are both good, and his technicals are okay. But I think he'll struggle to sort of really make an impact on the Everton team. So lastly, we'll go into the squad. Look at those injuries. We won't go through every position, especially the players that people all know. We'll just go through each position and, like I said, see if there's any areas that I think you can strengthen. So in goal, you've got the ever-present Tim Howard. He's 36 now, contracted for another 3 years. That's impressive. He's a decent keeper. Scouts rate him at 3 stars. Decision making and his command of area is his major weak point. So coming out to claim those balls, that sort of thing, might be a bit trickier with him. That's his only real weak point. And you got, how do you pronounce his name? Robles? We'll go English. Joe Robles, right? Joe Robles is the backup. He's 25 years old. He's half decent as well. I think he can definitely provide a bit of competition if Tim Howard's not playing well, and definitely playing cup games. It'd be interesting to see. He might actually overtake Tim Howard as the game goes through. So we're going to the right back position. Wonder who right back is. Seamus Coleman. He's brilliant. Keep him. Quality player. We're valued at 25 million. Absolute beast of a player. No sort of real questions there. Your backup right back is John Stones. Okay, John Stone? Well, okay, he can play right back. His crossing's decent, his dribbling's decent, but he's obviously a centre back. So that's maybe definitely somewhere that you might want to bring in a youngster or a loan signing just to cover the right back position. Left back we have Leighton Baines, who we all know and love. Amazing player, still got a good few years left in him, but he is starting with 6 months out with an injury. Brian Oviedo is his deputy, 25 years old. He's a decent backup, and I think he'll be fine until Baines comes back from his injury. And then you've obviously got Brendan Galloway, who's a really good youngster. I really rate him in real life. I can't believe how well this season in real life he's stepped in, and it's like, oh, another unheard of kid. Okay, he's really good. Can play centre back or left back. Pretty much equally well. He's got the stats that he can play both positions. I'm really hoping he improve. The scouts don't rate him hugely, but his determination and work rate are fair. I think if you put a bit of work into him, he could become a quality player. I think the scouts talking bollocks. Remember, that is just the scouts reporting, so it's not like a factual thing that this is how good this guy is. But I think you're pretty much fine on left backs there, even while Leighton Baines is out. So moving on to the centre backs, so you've got Brandon Galloway that can play there fine. You've got the man, the myth, the legend that is John Stones, absolute monster in this year's FM, just as in real life. You're going to have to battle to keep hold of him. There's going to be clubs interested in him. There already is. The big four are already wanting him. So if you're one of those people that likes to do a big rebuild job at the beginning of the game, you could probably sell him for 30-40 million, and then splash it around the team, or you can build your squad around him because he's that sort of player. Then you've got Phil Jagielka, 32 now. He's getting on a bit, so he will start to climb, but he's still an absolute beastly player in this. His mentals are ridiculous, and he's quality player, first choice alongside Stones. And then Funes Mori is definitely a good backup. He's 24 years old. He's still got room to improve. Good determination, work rate, bravery, anticipation, all good. Yeah, perfectly good player that can. Those three will do a really good job. And then you've got, after those three, you've got Galloway as your sort of fourth choice centre back, which I think is okay. Might be a little bit shallow. You might need one more player. Okay, so defensive midfield, we've got Gareth Barry. On the decline now, 34 years old. He's got a contract for another 2 years though. Obviously lacking in the pace department, but his mentals are really good. He can still do a job for you. Can play defensive mid or centre mid, both equally well. He's got really good tackling and marking, so that's fine. Not too much to say about him. Darren Gibson, he's okay. He's a decent backup. He's alright. He's out for 4 months with a hernia, but when he comes back in, he's a decent squad player, I think, at best, really. James McCarthy, another player who can play central midfield or defensive midfield, a really good player, 24 years old, still got time to improve. Just looking at his stats here, I definitely consider him more of a defensive midfielder or even deep line playmaker. You could sort of work him as, if you can work on some of his stats, because his passing is okay, but tackling, marking, things like that, positioning, all really good. So, yeah, quality player. So you've got Besic, 22 years old, another player that can play as defensive midfielder and centre midfielder. Good mentals and physicals, lacking a little bit in the technicals, and definitely another defensive-minded player. So it's quite interesting the number you've got there. I'd probably get rid of Gareth Barry, I think. How much? He's probably on a bit of money. Yeah, he's on 60 grand a week, so I'd probably look to maybe get rid of Gareth Barry out of those three. We'll have a look at the other centre midfield options. So we'll jump to the other centre. So we've got Ross Barkley. We all know about him. Quality player. Very versatile. Can play on the wings as well as down the centre. I won't go too much into detail. We all know he's really good. And then we've got, as centre midfielders, we've got Leon Osman, plays centre mid or just behind the striker. Great player, 34 now. He's been a legend for Everton. I really like watching him play. Physicals are really dropping off now, though. I see him this season maybe more as an impact sub. There's no point really selling him because he's not worth any money. Contract to the end of the season. I'd probably, like I say, impact sub and maybe just release him at the end of the season. And then you've got Tom Cleverley. He's out for 4 months, but he's a really good player. 25 years old, plays centre mid. Can play attacking midfielder. His finishing's a little bit low, but he's a decent all-round player. He's got a little bit of room to improve. His determination and work rate are really high, so there's definite room for improvement. And can play on the wings if you're in a bit of a bind. So you've got quite a few central midfielders here. I think you can look to trim that down a bit, and I think my choice would be Gareth Barry. Don't think he's worth much, but he's on a decent wage that you can get off the books. As far as wingers go, you've got Kevin Morales, who's 27 years old. Now, this is the guy I'd sell. He's good, but he's also worth 20 million. So that's maybe the position I think I could sell. It might just be personal dislike for him, but then we got Stephen Peanuts, and he's 33. His physicals are dropping off now. I think kind of like the other guy we looked at is that he's really versatile, which is nice to have on the bench. Maybe just come on as a super sub and release at the end of the season. Ross Barkley we've looked at. Aaron Lennon, the pace machine, still decent pace, even though he's not getting on, is he? He's still 28, but he hasn't played that much football. His technicals are maybe a little bit on the low side, okay-ish. I think he'd definitely do a job for you. You really just bought him in on a permanent deal, didn't you? So you can't sell him. Yeah, maybe give him time. He's a decent player. But we'll look at the others just to see if there's anybody that's going to rival him. Aidan McGeady, he's not really rated that highly. He's kind of slightly lesser version of Aaron Lennon, really, and older. It's definitely somebody maybe if you needed the money you could look to sell. Deflu, unknown or not unknown, is he? No, he's transferred from Barcelona for 4.3. A really good player, has a slight problem with injuries, and I've seen in somebody else's save that he actually considered retirement because of his constant injuries. Can play on both wings, beast of a player, good pace, load bags of flair and dribbling. He's going to beat players for fun, and he's only 21, so hopefully he doesn't break his leg and retire, but other than that, really good. That's pretty much it for sort of main winger options. I think you can definitely maybe look to sell. I think Kevin Morales is a great option to sell, and that allows you to strengthen a couple of areas. You could get another sort of younger winger and get a backup right back for the money you could sort of sell him for. And then you've got Aruna Kone, who's an okay striker in this. 31 years old. He's not worth that much money. I'd probably just have him as your sort of backup. Stephen Naismith is a better option. His stats sort of suggest he could play a bit more of a target man role with his heading. His strength is half decent. He's a good all-rounder, really. I think complete forward would have been I think complete forward, advanced forward seems to work well. Decent all-rounder, 28. He's not going to improve, but I think he can do a job for you. And then you've got obviously Lukaku, who's a beast. So if you're playing one up top, I think you've got no problems at all. If you're playing two up top, it's definitely something that maybe needs strengthening. But other than that, and a backup right back, and maybe You could keep that team in the wings there, or you can sell a Morales and use that money to spread around the team a bit more. There you go. I think that about covers it. Thank you very much for joining us. Please leave a comment and subscribe and all that stuff. I'll be doing more of these videos. We're going to go through the whole Premier League and beyond. So let me know what you think, and let me know if you're doing an Everton save and how well you're doing. That'd be great. Until then, I will see you soon.